Okay, we should be good to go. Getting your form pulled up here. So, what got you interested in coaching?
Um, I watch a lot of like educational content
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
like you, ISO,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like SVB's podcasts. I actually watched the entire like 2.5 one that he posted a couple days with you.
Nice,
And
you're crazy.
I was like, I there's a lot to learn about the game,
uh,
and I like despite knowing a lot, I can't act on it in game. And I feel
yep.
like sometimes I get like paralyzed
Mm-hmm.
by decisions, right?
Sure.
Because I know all of the things that I should do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I end up just fumbling the bag, or I end up like just going and trying to be the star player and make
Yep.
plays, and it just doesn't work.
Yep.
And I'm stuck in Diamond right now, and I really want to just get better.
Yep. Okay. Makes sense. If it makes you feel any better, it may or may not. That's a very common problem. In fact, it's one that's very close to heart for me because it's something that I struggle with a lot as a coach. I think when you have so much knowledge, right, through either your coaching or just consuming a lot of good educational content, it can be really difficult to like actually, like you said, actually apply it, right? To actually do what you need to do. And you get what's you're probably familiar with, but like paralysis by analysis, where you have so many options and so many things to consider that you end up flubbing everything, and maybe even flubbing the things that are normally very easy for you to do properly. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, so it says here in your forum, your hero pool is just Doom. So
It's not only Doom, but that's the one I really want to get
yeah,
good
I
at.
got you. I respect it. So tell me, give me your full Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 like history. When did you start playing? What got you attracted to Doom? What ranks have you hit before in Overwatch 1? Just fill me in all the details.
So in Overwatch 1, I played off tank primarily from season 4. Season 4 was when I first started.
Yeah.
And that season I dumped, I think, 130 hours on Zarya alone.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Um, and then moving into the next season, there was like another 100, and I really got really into off tank.
Mm-hmm.
I played for a team in Open Division for a little bit, and then I just completely stopped playing the game for probably like 15 seasons. I
Okay.
came back.
Can I ask
I
you really
met some
quick? Can I interrupt?
friends. Yeah, yeah.
What made you stop? Was it a collection of factors,
Um,
or what was it?
it's a bit personal, but
Okay.
my computer was stolen.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Okay, so something unrelated to the game, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead then. Sorry.
it was not by choice.
I got you. Go ahead.
And then when I ended up coming back around season 20-ish, I don't remember exactly when. I think it was like season 21 to 24.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I met some friends. I got really into watching Jonak because that was season 1 of Overwatch League, and I was like, I'm gonna play Zen. And I
Right.
one trick Zen all the way to Masters, and moving into, I kept playing support on and off because I play WoW at a very high level.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I ended up ditching the game because it got boring and stagnant.
When was
Um,
this?
um, Probably like I would always place, but I wouldn't actually like push and like try to
Mm-hmm.
improve. But
Mm-hmm.
probably around like season 27, 28,
Okay.
where I would go play WoW.
Gotcha.
And then I came back at the start of Overwatch 2, kept doing the just place back and forth kind of thing. And then this past season, season 2, I got really into it and really started grinding again.
Okay. Why is
Within
that?
probably, sorry?
Why do you think that was? What?
I hated solo queue, and some of my friends got back into the game.
Okay. So you basically ended it through like I guess social motivation, were able to get your relight your
Yeah,
motivation. Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And then now they're not even playing anymore, but it's
You're
just
hooked.
like, yeah, like I don't know. It feels really good to make plays and stuff in solo queue, and people are like, "Please stop playing Doom," and it's just fun. It's fun.
I got you. I got you. And then here's a question for you. So you talked about your support time in Zarya even way back in the day. When did you start
Mhm.
playing Doom so seriously?
The end of season 2, probably like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so you're hooked. What do you why do you think
Yeah,
that is?
I watched a shit ton of Zebra. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I watched so much Zebra and Quake that I like just seeing some of the stuff they can pull off. It's like holy cow, man! Like they're insane. I want to get up to that level, you know?
Gotcha, gotcha.
And
Okay, okay. And you've only been playing Doom for 3 weeks, and you're in Diamond now. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, especially for what I assume is a relatively new hero for you to pick up, given it's only been a few weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
But obviously, figuring out what you will need to do next is going to be the next challenge. Okay, so let's take a look at your form here. So, goals for Overwatch here. Long term, I'd like to get into and perform up to the
I
standards of a
forgot the
GM.
short term.
Yeah, I'm looking through it. Just basically just look up to and get up to GM top 500. Oh, here's some interesting quick. So I coach a Masters 1 DPS player, started 2800, and we've done some insane practice to get her to where she is now. How did that start happening? How did that happen?
She was a really good friend of mine, and I've always been really like invested in coaching. Like,
Since when?
um,
Before Overwatch?
when my computer got stolen, I still wanted to be active within. I ran an org for a little while, um, but I still wanted to be invested, despite not being able to play as the off-tank player on the team. So I took on a coaching role, and you know, since then I've done casual coaching, nothing like serious, but mostly for my friends and stuff like that. I try not to be too aggressive with them because sometimes I can be a little like, "What are you doing here?"
It's
But yeah,
always tough when you have like personal involvements with them, you know. It's like, oh,
yeah,
hey, you're my friend. Why am I yelling at you?
yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, do you have any history in coaching previous to Overwatch that kind of got you interested, or was it just, hey, I want to help, and it just kind of worked out?
um, no, I just kind of wanted help.
Okay. Okay. And is that one of the contributing reasons why you're getting stuck now with your overthinking too many things to consider because
Yeah,
you know so much
yeah.
now?
I'm looking at the macro, like, okay, Kiri just used Suzu. Genji and I should be using, should be diving her together, stuff like that, and like
Yep.
it just doesn't happen. And I feel like, I know because I've watched so much coaching content, like there is always something you can do better.
Right.
Do not blame your teammates. But at certain points, it feels like to just not right. It feels like there's so much I can do, but I'm not. I don't want to say being enabled or being getting like the help from the team, but it does feel like that at times, and it's
Okay.
like, what
Okay.
could I do? You know?
Right. Okay. Well, we'll take a look at it then, because that's obviously interesting here. Let me check this. Get this code pulled up here before we keep going through the form. So, Doomfist, and the map is Kings Row. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about your training schedule because we know your goals. Your goals are pretty lofty. GM top 500. That's about as good as it gets. And right now, what is your training schedule look like on the average day, average week? How much do you play? Do you warm up? Do you have any days where you don't play or any days where you play a lot? Just kind of fill me in there.
I work overnights.
Yep.
I work 40 hours a week, and then I'm going to school.
Okay. You're crazy.
So I'm pretty busy.
Yep.
But I still try and play at least like 2, 3, maybe 4 hours when I
Okay.
stream. And I
Okay.
try being consistent with my streaming schedule
Okay.
just to, grow viewership, stuff like
Sure.
that. But
Sure.
um, there are days where like I just kind of overwatched out and I just don't play.
Okay. How often does that happen?
Um, I mean, probably like at least once a week, there's a day where I'm just like, I'm not going to be playing today. I'm going to take a step back, practice my violin.
Okay. So not too
To see
often though.
something. No, it's not. It's not like every other day or something.
Okay. So I would say we're checking the boxes right now, probably for playtime, especially if you're essentially one tricking right now to get to Grandmaster. As long as we stay around that 3 hour mark on average. Do you do anything to warm up?
I. It depends on how I'm feeling and how try hardy I want to be, I guess.
Okay.
I do a lot of try hard FFA. If I
Mm-hmm.
can't find anything, I'll just go into regular deathmatch for like 5, 10 minutes, and then I'll do a quick play
Okay.
game just to
Okay. I'd probably skip the
No.
quick play, but I think try harder arcade is probably fine for a warm up, especially for a tank player. And then going from there immediately into ranked, and then
Yeah.
you essentially one trick right now.
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much. Yeah,
sounds
I play
good.
Doom or Ball.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So then I guess looking through here, one of the questions here is, what do you hope you got out of the session? You say, most importantly, how to implement things in the game despite knowing what to do. I tend to just autopilot. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of the best way to like respond to this.
Sure.
I mean, like, when I get into the game, I'll think, okay, he has primal, he's gonna leave my back line, whatever. I'm gonna engage on their ammo now to force him to turn on me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then I just don't do it. I just fumble. I just sit there and I shoot at something for 3 minutes, and I'm like, okay, why did we lose that fight?
Right.
And I review myself, and I see like this is what I need to work on. Like more recently, I've noticed my positioning is pretty bad. So I've started to like try and implement better positioning and stuff like that, using my cooldowns to engage and disengage instead of just staying in and overcommitting. And I'm noticing progress, but there are some things that I feel like I'm just not seeing that maybe somebody else could help me look at.
With the example that you brought up there, though, you said you knew what to do, but you just didn't do it. Is that something that happens frequently? Because that might be a different issue where you're just not having the discipline to actually follow through in what you know. Or is it more along the lines that you just kind of get like overwhelmed? Or is it a little bit of both?
Probably a little bit of both. And like, I don't want to get slapped, antied, and discorded in the backline, which tends to happen a lot as Doomfist.
All right. Okay. We'll take a look here. Last question then. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? And you say understanding and mechanics, but a much larger emphasis on mechanics and decision making. I feel like I have a good grasp on the overall game, but struggle with the micro plays and my hero. Do you think that pretty much describes it fairly well?
Yeah, engage timings. When to continue playing aggressive to push an advantage or deny a res, right? Like,
sure.
I will end up just feeding, and I'm like, why didn't we all walk forward? And then I realize, like, okay, they have cooldowns here. Why did I engage? Things like that. But a lot of it is mechanics.
Interesting. Okay, sounds good. I have a question for you. So what is your in-game username? You say, I feel like I get carried by my duo and really want to start my journey into improvement.
Did I answer the wrong question?
Well, no, I guess no, the question's fine. You tell me like your rank and all that kind of stuff, but like you say you mentioned a duo, which I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, I generally play with a Zen one trick.
Okay.
She just got to Masters too.
Okay.
It's the same DPS player coach. Actually.
Gotcha. Okay. And you guys work well together?
Yeah, I think Doom Zen is kind of slapped on in ranked.
I think so, yeah.
We haven't been playing like practically at all this week, so the mod I sent you, she's not in there at all.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean that's fine. There are some pitfalls with duoing just to be aware of. Like if one of you is more serious than the other, you're over relying on your teamwork and not in your own individual play. And then also, like, let's say there's a significant gap between you and the player you're working with, which I don't think there is. But if there were to become a significant gap, then you'd get pulled into either higher or lower lobbies, and you'd have to learn. You wouldn't be playing at a good level for you to improve at. So just something to consider. It's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just not always a good thing either. Okay. Any other last questions before we get in?
No, I don't think there's anything.
So let me just kind of clear the room with one last statement here with this sort of thing. My suspicion is, and usually is, that whenever players who are very educated like yourself and experienced, when they get put into a situation where they don't understand what they're doing wrong, usually it's a forest for the trees moment, where there's something very simple or basic about either the hero's kit or the overall part of the game that you're missing because you're putting too much attention onto details that aren't as important. That may or may not be the case, but that's what I'm going to be immediately looking for at first, and then we'll go from there. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here.
That's going to be something I'm going to use now. I tend to just say like you need to have a good base fundamental knowledge of the game to understand your microplay.
Sure.
And the forest for the trees is a lot better of an explanation than just base fundamentals.
Right, right. Well, it's hard because you have to have a sense of prioritization, right? You have to know what the most important things to work on. And obviously tracking on a sleep dart's important, but I would rather you track on a sleep dart than on a nade. You know, I would rather you track on a sleep dart than Suzu. So if you're obsessing over, like, let's say Suzu or nade, and you forget about sleep dart, then the tracking of the other coolnouts just didn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just one example of getting your priorities mixed up. So can you see this okay?
Yep.
Which one?
F5.
Okay, you are nerf this. See, you're killing me because you even got the terminology right. Somebody spent some time in the replay viewer. Okay, let's get started here. So let's start with this one. What is Doomfist good at? What are the strengths of the hero?
Assassination and disruption. I've watched your other videos.
Okay. Okay. So
he very fast engages. To get a pick and getting out, he is very good at.
Yep.
And then overall, just being a nuisance. He's not as good as Monkey as being a nuisance, right? But especially when it comes to like denying enemy positioning, he's very good at that.
What is he better at than Monkey? Because that's a really good comparison. Because Monkey has got more beef, you know, bubble and all that stuff. But what are you better at?
Solo kills and I want to say baiting cooldowns.
Sure.
But I guess that could be like. And like I do computer science, so that could be like an if statement, right? Like there are differences, but I think he's a little bit better at baiting cooldowns.
Sure. Here's a question: what's the longest cooldown that you have?
As Doom? I know slam is 7 seconds. Fist or like punch is 4.
I believe block is like 8,
7, isn't
7 or 8, 7 or 8, yeah. So 7, yeah. Compare once again Doomfist to Winston. You can probably see where I'm going with this.
I'm not entirely positive where you're going here. Just,
sure. So when we talk about the speed of the engage, right? How fast he can go in, in fact, how fast he can go out. He's very fast, right? Obviously, okay. But it's not just about how fast he can go in and how fast he can go out. It's how often he can go in and how often he can go out, right? Whereas if you think about a Monkey, you've got your limiting factor is your bubble, which is what, 12, 13 seconds at least. So you're a lot slower, right? You have to be a lot more decisive with your engages. Whereas Doomfist can go in and out and in and out, and it's death by paper cuts, right? Kind of a thing. Okay, makes sense. Let's see what we got. So one thing I like to do with players, with heroes, I would say, that don't have good ways of dealing with CC, Ball's one, Doom's one, you need to track one cooldown, just good practice. So we talked about this already earlier, right? Look at the enemy composition. What's one cooldown that you need to track?
Sleep.
Right. They've got it easy for you. There's nothing but sleep that you
punch.
Right, sleep and punch, of course. But like there's not a whole lot else besides sleep that you need to track. Even if you forgot to track punch, that would be it's more important to track sleep because that's going to affect how you dive. Now, who do you think, or what do you think you're going to be doing versus the enemy composition?
It's rough because like Ana Zen is a very hard backline for a tank to deal with, any tank. But Widow is a very easy kill for Doom. So probably diving the Widow and going on the Zen when I know they don't have sleep or nade.
Yeah, sure. Well, not even nade. Like nade doesn't stop you from doing what you want to do, right? It just means that you have to be a little bit. You're forcing nade then, right? And then getting out alive, right? Whereas sleep dart is like if you do get slept, you probably die. So okay, let's see what happens. Ana Zen is like the glass combo. If they do it well, they're insufferable. If they don't, they die immediately. There's nade. Nice. So there is sleep dart. So just a little bit greedy. I know that you're like, we've got 1 kill, but remember what that kill cost you, right? It did cost you your slam. So when you engage here, you've now used 1 cooldown, you've used 2 cooldowns. Before you even charge your punch here, you are not full HP. You see this?
Yeah.
So you don't have the HP for this. You don't have the slam to disengage. You only really have the slam, and then obviously the block. But you don't, or you don't have the punch, excuse me, and the block. But you don't have the slam, nor do you have the HP. So this is just like a little detail where like you've got a kill, but you don't have cooldowns or HP to be able to continue to pursue. I think it was Sun Tzu talked about, like in The Art of War, about how your ability to continue to push an advantage is from an overwhelming advantage. At some point, if you overextend and push and push and push beyond your HP, beyond your cooldowns, then you no longer have an advantage, even if you're up or 1 or up 2. And this is it right here. Like, you probably should die here. You don't, but you probably should. And here's another question for you. So you guys are down 1 at this point, right? They've respawned, okay? When we talk about where we're fighting right now, where are we fighting? Where's your team fighting?
Probably closer to point. Or
Why? Why?
Second point hold.
Why? Dumb question.
We're down
why?
on Risky.
Right, obviously, right? And I know these questions are super simple, but this is kind of what we talked about before the review, right? Where right now it's probably the super simple things that we're messing up. Like we look right here. Yes, we're kind of holding this choke, but really, truly, we're not really hard holding this, are we? We're giving up. Even look at your honest positioning, right? They're trying to help you out, but they don't really want to. This does not feel good. And this is why, like, even what you're doing right now, even though it might be feel good, or, you know, I'm getting good damage, I'm getting good slam, I'm gatekeeping their approach, it feels rough, right? It feels rough. You just simply were not aware and not paying attention to where your team was setting up or where they should have set up, giving the man advantage. So there's nothing complicated about this, right? There's nothing complicated so far. Okay, looks good. Now, what you need to be thinking about right now?
The Doom in my backline.
Right. But you're dealing with that though, right? Indirectly, anyway.
Yeah, I'm pressuring his supports out, which gives my
Right. But we're not thinking of anything new. We've talked about this already. What you need to be thinking about right now?
Cooldowns.
Right. Well, no, not even cooldowns. Well, cool down. Right.
Yeah.
Right. She's got it. You're in the open. If you're slept here, you're cooked.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Okay, that was definitely a misplay. I watched the VOD yesterday just to kind of get a feel for it and see like how close the game was before I sent it to you. But I thought I could get
a fat slam. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's like a last second touch, you know? But you miss it. And also this slam, you're like, oh, they're all gonna be 1 HP, I'm gonna get a million shields, maybe I get nanoed, maybe we win the fight. It's okay. This is actually really not that big of a deal. This is you trying to clutch and you just mess up, that's all. Because I'm telling you, if you touch before point capped and you actually hit this slam, I guarantee you get nano and you probably win this fight. Yeah, or you get ultimate, right? Like you said. So yeah, don't worry about it. You're a brave man. I'm always scared about that jump. I always mess up.
The amount of times I have is
yeah, I do that with Junkrat too, and like the Hans, you got to do the lunge across, and my heart just stops every time. I'm so sure I'm gonna miss it. So whoa, did you see that bug with Doomfist?
Yeah.
What on earth? Anyway, even this you just have to be a little bit careful about, because here's the thing. Dishonor is good, you're slept. You're dead with your positioning, right?
That happened quite a bit.
Right. You're just dead immediately, because just Zenyatta peeks here with Discord, you know, and then you're just immediately dead. I mean, even before you ult, you die, right? So probably not the best. Because the idea of what you're doing is probably fine, but this is where you'd be like listening for Zenyatta right clicks, right? And if you were to fish with your charge, where would you be doing it?
Wherever the Zen is going to be spamming.
Right. You're listening for Zen, and then if you are going to do it, at least just be like a little closer to the corner, right? Corner, yeah. Right. Little thing to consider here as well. Little micro tip. I noticed that you do this tech a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it's good or not. It definitely does damage, but I'm not sure if the impact is enough. And no pun intended, the impact. This kind of stuff right here. And you were doing it at the choke over here as well, I noticed. Where you were just kind of...
shields.
Yeah. It's good for shields and stuff. I'm not sure. You can see the upsides. It's free damage, free pressure. It's AoE,
But I'm also losing
free shields, but you're losing the mobility. So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to... We'll put this on our list of things to consider. Not the list of mistakes, because I'm not confident saying it's a mistake, but on a list of things to consider. And see, like, for example, like right here. Obviously, it's a little bit hindsighty. Man, we wish we had our slam here, right? Could we kill this guy faster, right? But but sometimes maybe the slam is good. I don't really know. So something to consider. Maybe we experiment with that. It's fine. Ha! Huge. Nice. Unfortunate. Really need to hit those punches. That really need to hit those slams. Nice. Perfect. Perfect. A little bit of prediction. There's the sleep dart, right? Like, to me, this is just the other thing. You hear the Ana behind you. Right here. So what should you be doing right now?
Just getting out.
Get out. Right. Go get out and kill that Doomfist or peel off your team. You're cooked here if you die. All the good things that you've done will not matter at all. And you actually almost die for it anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just not respecting Sleep Dart much at all. And I do think there's some mechanical misgivings as well. So if we were to kind of create a cornucopia of issues here, we're a little bit concerned about where your team is fighting. We're a little bit concerned about how you're not considering Sleep Dart much. We're a little bit concerned about, I'm more curious about how you're using Slam. And I think some of your mechanics with your punch and slam need to be better before we're going to get to masters. Not a lot better. Your mechanics are not bad, but they could be a little bit better. So what we'll do is we'll keep watching. And this is something for you, if you're as a coach, to get better at coaching yourself, is to accumulate a priority list based off of what you see happening in terms of frequency and amplitude, for lack of a better term, right? Like if some mistake only happens twice, but it literally costs you a fight, then that needs to be fixed, you know? Like right there.
I could have been slapped.
You could have been slapped, right? She has it again. Like 1 second, she has it again. I don't, unless you're accurately tracking within 1 second, then you're cooked, right? And even that, like even that punch, I don't love, right? What are the chances or odds of follow-up, right? Like right now, what's the problem with this punch? You tell me. From like a very basic teamwork side things.
My team is way too far back. The only way we kill him is if our junk hits in line from Narnia.
Right, exactly. And it's like just the inherent, for lack of a better term, passive or latent pressure of just I have power punch when you guys walk through the choke. That's stressful for them, right? And now we don't have it anymore. And not only that, but you also put yourself in a position once again where you could have been slept and killed.
I could have been slept and discorded.
Right. So there's nothing really complicated here. You're playing Doomfist pretty fine. Like you definitely grasp the hero. It's just some of these mistakes are definitely not great. Whoop, she missed it. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should be dead already.
You know, the funny thing is like it's not even what you're doing that's the problem. It's how you're doing it. Because you're trying to bait cooldowns a little bit here, put out some pressure. Maybe you can bait. I mean, maybe you could bait the sleep dart, right? But if you were to do that, charge your punch, all that kind of foolishness, right? Whoops. How would you do that? Where would you do that?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
Sure. So if you were to do this, bait cooldowns, try and charge up your punch pre-fight, where would you do that? How would you do that?
Left side, because
sure.
easier for my team to see.
Or even like right on the cart, you know, like right where this Doomfist is, where if you get slept, the cart provides good pressure or good cover from you, where it's hard for them to actually kill you. You know what I'm saying? I could see that being worth doing, right? Just not quite this out in the open, not quite this far forward. You know what I'm saying? Not when CC's a threat. You just, and then even here, like why even charge the punch? because you can see even
it's not like
right.
we can kill anything with it.
Right, and then once again, even though you don't get slept, do you see how like your position in relation to your team, your aggression, your open space positioning, even though you don't get slept, look at your HP. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you really should have died there. You really should have died.
One good Zen shell should have
right.
died.
So it's just, I mean, the funny thing is you know what saves your life? Watch this. Watch this guy.
The May?
No.
The shields.
No.
Yeah. I think he does it 3 more times actually.
That's so funny. You were cooked. Nice. Now she doesn't have sleep, so what you're doing now is totally fine. Now she does have sleep, so you're probably gonna die. Yeah. It's really just sleep dart, mate. Like it's really just sleep dart. I think like okay, let's relook at this fight. Okay, so back of your mind, she has sleep dart right now. Let's pause it a little bit earlier. I did it too late again. My old man reflexes here. Okay, she has sleep dart right now. What's the plan? What's yeah? What's the plan here? Before you slam, what do you think? Because she's got it.
She has sleep.
She's got it.
She has it anyway, right?
Right, she's got it. Right, she's got it right now. You've charged your punch. Nice job. She has sleep dart though. What now?
I'm probably gonna play left side and try and poke out a little bit.
Okay, like here.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah. You could maybe peek and bait it. You could charge up your punch, try and bait sleep. They engage on you. You can maybe slam out, right? But now you still have your charge punch, and she doesn't have sleep dart, and then you punch back in again, right? You go in like
after trance.
Right. You go full out in now though, because she's used sleep dart. And now you can just go full in on the back line and they're cooked, right? So yeah, it's just little things like that. Like this might be good for you to kind of think about is like, I think of like Doomfist as very artistic in its expression, right? There's not just one dimensional. There's a lot of things that you could do here. You could go left. You could flank around behind. You could try and, slam up top here and like try and bait the sleep dart on the way and then drop punch. Or you could do like what I was saying, like peek out, charge your punch, bait the sleep, slam out. You could just go straight in, charge your punch behind a wall, and make the sleep dart hard for her. Bait her to try and sleep you while you're on top of her. You know what I'm saying? Because then you have your power punch. Maybe she doesn't even get a chance to use her sleep dart because she hits the wall and she's dead, right? There's literally like at least half a dozen options for you. But this was not the one.
I go for the tank because I have that punch and
right.
It doesn't work.
And the thing is like this, what you're doing right now is a really totally fine play if she doesn't have sleep dart.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like this is really good. Like the slam around behind the punch. Look at the HP, dude. This guy's dead. He's dead. And if you don't get slept here, wait, he doesn't not die? Oh my gosh. He
doesn't die.
He should, no, but he would have died and you would have lived if there was no sleep dart.
If I didn't get slept.
Right. So it's not even the fact that this play or plan is bad. Like this is great. This probably is, I would go as far to say, the best play because it's the safest play for the situation. You're up one, you don't need to do anything cute.
Especially given my team's position.
Right.
And
Tons of follow-up there.
And everything.
Yeah, tons of follow-up. Just sleep. That's it. That's really it. That's all there is to it. So, okay. Okay. Nice. Sleep. Like, again, it's not the fact that you're not allowed to play the game when she has sleep. It's more about you have to play the game differently. So once again, let's practice this. She has sleep dart. You see her right in front of you, right there, right? Right there, right? Okay. So you tell me, right now, she has sleep dart. What do you do?
There's a tire like right behind me, right?
Yep. So you want to push in. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be looking at me, and maybe our Junkrat goes for the Zen. Maybe, I mean, even if he doesn't, right? Like, if I engage on that Zen, the tire's gonna get somebody. Because that's a lot of pressure off of that tire.
Sure. So you're saying I'm just going in aggressive just to bait tire. I don't even care if I get slept because the tire. I'm going to set up the tire. I agree with that. But you could still play it better than you did right here, right?
Play around the cart.
What is it?
Play around the cart.
You could. That will give you more cover from Sleep Dart.
Walk into the room and try and bait it.
Here's a question for you.
Like jiggle peek it.
Like here?
Yeah, like jiggle peeking around it.
Yeah. Here's a question. What if you walked forward and slammed here? Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Harder for her to sleep that, isn't it? And then you could punch the Zen, chuck it in here, you know? Now we actually have created some distance and some movement, and now it's a lot harder. Maybe you could slam here, walk in here, and punch inside. If you get slept in here, there's not as much follow-up, right? Or it's harder for, or you're putting the pressure directly on top of her, which means it's harder for her to sleep. Like, this is, again, the situation is that I like your theory here, but I just don't think you're doing it as well as you could, because this is too easy of a sleep, right? If you're not only that, but you have
especially when all she has to do is
right.
Around.
This is too easy of a sleep.
She just misses it, actually.
Right. This is too easy. This is too easy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's too, like, now it's whatever, but like this is all just simply too easy. And as you get better, it's going to be about making, oh my goodness, that was a huge concussive mine. It's going to be about making those sleeps harder. Like, here's the thing, is like, as you get in higher ranks, Anas are going to hit more and more sleeps, but if you make it harder for them, they're still going to miss. No Ana hits every sleep dart. Not a single one. So it's going to be on you about increasing those odds. That you survive, or decreasing the odds, I guess. Careful. Did she use sleep dart again? Oh, no. I mean, jeez, like, you're just dead. Like, you are really just dead there. Like, she just keeps missing. You know, it's that simple. You don't know how close you were to death. The other thing too is, it's like, again, you're on Mercy or in Spawn, so I'm not even sure exactly what you're doing here.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't notice.
Yeah, that's a pretty big issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
That's what happened on first point.
This was probably the stupidest engage I've ever done.
Yeah, well, okay, that's good to hear then. That's good to hear. At least we got that one out of the way. And now that's a fight lost, you know? It's a fight lost.
Yeah.
Literally just from that. That's just tragic. Okay. Nice. Okay.
I saw the jump peek in the corner, so I was like, oh,
yeah.
I can get a free.
You know, again, though, like, again, just, you know, be really careful. Be really careful.
I think you covered it in a different video, but aggression, like, who's the most aggressive based on relative to the enemy's position, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm being the one that's the most aggressive.
Correct.
In every fight we've lost.
Correct. Because you're looking here and you're like, Doomfist is overextended. And I would say yes, but it's just you and your junk. So no, not really. Actually, it's you that's overextended.
And he has ult.
And then even here, like, okay, he's overextended. Okay, whatever. Now he's definitely not overextended. The cavalry's arrived, and yet you stay. You see this? Now he's overextended, I think, even in relation to his team, right? Like, this guy is actually killable. Aw, that's unfortunate. Yeah, this is it. Nothing you can really do here. Yeah, okay. So let's keep watching. I was gonna pause here, but I want to keep watching here because I have a question in a second. Uh-oh. Yeah, I just feel like we haven't actually had a fight yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we've just been on the back foot constantly. Ooh. It's unfortunate. Nice shots, though. Looking good. So, I don't think there was a lot of options of playing around Sleep Dart there, but, like, let's say if there was, what would you have done here?
Was there gone right around the card?
What's up? I didn't quite hear you.
Go right around the card?
Sure.
That isolates the sun?
Sure. Or you target the Ana directly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that then the risk factor, even though she's slightly harder to kill, she's the one that's going to put you out of your misery, so you need to put her down first. And then, like, even here, your attention goes on Ana first, right? But now it's just in. Alright. Nice. Oh, we're going aggressive. Nice shots. Your shots are good, by the way.
I try hard FFA really limits the amount of abilities you have, so you can only really practice the punch.
Right, you die so fast, you know. Yeah. It looks good. It's really, you're getting a lot of kills from those shots. This is good. I respect this. You're like zoning backline, so maybe you guys can kill Doom. There's not a lot you can do here. Your DPS. Oh, nice. We get trance out though. Just get out. Yeah, this is not the play. This is not the play. You know, you force trance, your DPS fed, nothing you can do. Get out. You know.
Yeah. Punching him does nothing. It's not like he's gonna die. It's not
right. Just make sure that you're not
pushing.
Right. Oh dear. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and skip. That was you were cooked. Does she have sleep?
Yes.
So we should punch her. Yes.
Yes.
Nice. Fight carrying. Just fight carrying play right there. Nice shots and good target right there. Are these guys going Pharah? These guys are wild. King's Throw, you mean King's Throw, Pharah, of course. Nice job. That was good. Even here.
I get slept, I get volleyed right in that.
Right, just a little far, just a little too far. You could go like a little close to the corner, and you could also just bait it and cancel it and duck behind the corner. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the other thing with your E. Be more like, it's not just about how you're using your E, but like you could use your E out in the open and then watch Ana, wait for her to go in the animation, cancel it, juke it, and then yes, you don't charge your punch, but she's just used her sleep dart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's a great
it's like
trade.
A 7-second cooldown for a 12-second.
Right, exactly. And you're like,
14-second cooldown.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, oh yeah, that's it. That's a good trade for me.
Yeah.
That's like another strategy to add to your toolkit, right? So here's a question for you. What's the purpose of holding this position? This is a little bit tricky, but I want you to consider this one. What are you trying to do right now?
Right now, I'm just trying to deny the Mega.
Okay.
And especially the sideline from the Soldier.
Okay. If I turn to my right, what am I going to see on my team?
Most likely our Ana is, or we no longer have Ana, but our Kira is probably closer to Cult.
You see?
No, but our Echo is.
Yeah, you see? So what I see here is an opportunity to charge punch, and that's it.
And get out.
And that's it, right? That's really truly it. Because the reason why I bring this up is this decision right here. Right? You're like, oh, he's overextended, right? But no, you know, not really.
Yeah.
Because once again, it's like he's overextended, but you're not like considering the positioning of your team. So the reason I say that is then because we're kind of in an awkward situation right now where they could kind of push now. You don't have your cooldowns, and I'm not sure if you're set up either. Like I even wonder, like, you're playing very frontline heavy, but I wonder if there are situations where, like, especially if you have ult, could you be up in here hiding? You know? Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe. Your playstyle is interesting. You're very frontline cooldown trade centric, which we've talked about how we could do that playstyle better. But maybe there's other times when it's just okay to just like let them walk in. You know what I'm saying? And go for backline. Yeah. Just something to consider. A little bit, like I said, it's a little bit like the slam thing that we were talking about earlier, where I'm not really sure. Just something to consider in your own time, though. But like, for example, this stinks, but theoretically, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an even trade, right? Theoretically, right? Whereas if that had happened here, you would have died.
Yeah, I definitely thought about it in the moment. Like, as he was charging his punch, I was like, my entire team is looking at me and him. But it's also like they just have better spamming.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a factor. But theoretically, you could get Suzu'd here too, and he can't, and you know, whatever. Yeah, but it's not a big deal. But at least you're playing around your team now, right? Like, we're happy to hear that.
I got scared. I thought I was gonna die.
You probably were, so I think this is fine. Yeah, this is good. This is fine. Not perfect, but remember the whole goal of this review is to not over focus on the tiny little details, right? But just the big stuff.
Yeah.
I think that engage was fine. You're playing around your team's positioning. My only question was, like I said, more about like, could we have set up for like an assassination instead? Let's check this one out. What's the mistake here? You engage,
not tracking sleep.
right. And where's the mistake manifested? So like, where's the moment of the mistake? Because you're like, you can't just sit there and wait for sleep. You need to engage, right? But then how would you engage?
This isn't the mistake. The mistake is as soon as I block.
Right.
The second I block,
right.
I should have just used this punch her back, go play by the card.
Right. You could have done slam, punch them back. Exactly. Juke around card. Play the game. Maybe use your E here and then duck in your or cancel it. It's exactly that.
Yeah.
And even though you don't dive for it, you're no longer a factor right now.
Yeah.
Right. That 1 or 2 seconds of downtime is crucial. So yeah, I think that's a consistent issue we need to be on the lookout for. Do we get the hold? I don't think we will. Oh, maybe. Big rational. Nice, we win. All right. Okay, so what are you seeing so far that you need to improve upon? Because there's been a few different things that we've asked, but what were the big ones?
I don't think my positioning is the worst compared to like, say, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so
well, you're still new to the hero, right?
From then.
You're still new, right?
I think timing of engages and aggression relative to not only my team's position, but my team's capability to engage, right? Like cooldowns, things like that.
So what's the skill that needs... Let's stop right there. Aggression relative to your team's positioning. How do you improve that skill? Because that is a weakness.
Look behind me.
Right. So,
I coached a team once, and I kept telling their monkey player, literally just turn around. I don't care if you die while you're doing it, but just turn around. Because he was never turning around. And yeah, it was for the World Cup with the...
Sure. Timing of engages, I think, would actually be solved by just doing number 1 first, even, I would even say. So I don't even know if I would add timing as something separate. I think it's just that's the issue. Okay, number 2 was, you were talking about cooldowns.
Not tracking their cooldowns. Especially, specifically sleep.
Cooldown. What would be another big one? Sleep, Kiriko TP, I guess. Like, if you were to give like a top
enemy?
3. Yeah, like a top 3 cooldown to track, what would that be?
As Doom, I always really struggle. I'd say sleep.
Sigma
CD is a really big one.
Sigma Rock, maybe?
Yeah, that's definitely a really big one. It's nice because I can track I can get my punch off of like that and just
the damage itself. Yeah.
Yeah, but it can shut me down sometimes.
Yep. Okay. And then, playstyle. Consider testing frontline versus lurking flank assassination playstyle. And then the slam thing.
Yeah. Not using it just to...
Yeah, and I think both of those things were more like just experiment with, know when it's good, know when it's bad. I think we've seen sometimes when the slam looked good, sometimes when the slam looked bad, sometimes when playing the frontline trade versus the Doom mirror in particular looked pretty good, but then also sometimes where it didn't look as good. For example, like maybe the frontline Doom is pretty good versus some comps, maybe if they're on like Winston, right? Like you can abuse that Winston a lot and then still trade the backline. Versus something like
I've noticed.
Right, versus something like a Sigma.
Especially on something like Durant.
Right, exactly.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But like something versus a Sigma Orisa, like what you've done this entire defense would not fly at all. Their take would just ruin you.
This account was gold 2, and in the span of 2 days I got to diamond 3. I ended up the very first game I ended up being put in a GM lobby against an Orisa.
Uh-huh.
The people in the lobby were like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why are you just looking at the Orisa?" And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, I guess I'll change my playstyle around." And in the game, I ended up like switching up to playing more backline and trying to go for elims. And it was really close. It was a lot closer than I thought it would be for a GM game. But I noticed against Orisa especially, you get punished very hard if you're not careful about who you're engaging with.
Well, she's
Oh, that's
just
another big one.
she's
Javelin.
phenomenal.
Javelin.
Yeah, javelin. Yeah, same thing as rock. You know, feeds the punch, but it can really it just takes so much of your HP away. You know, during that stun.
Definitely.
You know. Okay. Like I said, strengths, mechanics look good for someone who doesn't have a lot of time in Doomfist. You definitely look like relatively comfortable in the hero. Like I wouldn't say you look clunky. You just don't look like as educated about how. Like if I played Doomfist, I would do a better job probably tracking cooldowns. But I would than you would. But I would look horrible. I would look like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I would look super unfluid. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's something that's good because to me it's like it's harder to get comfortable in the hero than it is to add like something to consider with the hero. You know what I'm saying? Like you already look relatively comfortable in the hero for the amount of time you played. It just you need to add like an extra layer of understanding or execution. Not even understanding, just prioritization. You know? Okay. Let's keep going. Sound good? Give me 1 second, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, my master's one friend. You have a session with her exactly a week from now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I paid for it for her and everything because her mental is absolutely horrible. But she's one of my closest friends. I've known her for like 5 years. I love her to death, but it can be unbearable to play with her because of her mental sometimes.
Oh no. Just get
Yeah, that's
tilted
why
and
I
such.
told her she was. Yeah, I pushed her so much to get like professional coaching, especially from you, because you talk a lot about like mental things like that, and I've noticed some like really good reviews on that side. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna make her do this. I mean, like obviously, she was willing to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, that's the thing. Well, we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Let's keep going. Now, what happens if you get slept here?
I could get Helix discorded volleyed, but most likely the Doom just punches me back.
Yeah, I think most likely if they use sleep dart here, it's going to be like, nah, probably not worth. You know what I'm saying? You might die, but I think there's like this is like the position where we theoretically would be more confident using our greeting, right? And again, you could all there's nothing stopping you from looking at the Ana while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? She does have the animation. You can react to it if you're prioritizing the Ana. Yeah. Oh, does the punch stun count like rock and javelin?
It does not, unfortunately.
But don't you have? No, you don't have punch.
I thought I did.
It looks like you did, but
I used it. I think he primary fired right before he punched.
you don't have punch. I swear, it looked like your fist was glowing.
I do have it. I remember using it.
That's so weird. Maybe it's a UI bug. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not
Because
sure.
yours not showing up, but his is. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Ha! He's cooked. He's screwed. Yeah, he's done. It's over.
Specifically, was like this guy will die.
Yeah, this is so smart. You know, I love it. Nice. This is great. He's done. Nice job. That was really smart. Ah! Don't you forgot.
Yeah. Sleep dart.
Cause like again, what you're doing here is actually pretty cool if you did it on purpose. Cause look what you do. You charge your punch, and then you could just like cancel it and duck behind the corner when you see the sleep animation.
I generally do that, especially on Midtown, because people like to play on top of the train. I'll charge my punch and cancel it with block, and people will generally end up shooting you because they're looking at you.
Right,
they don't want me to punch them.
Right. But I think
sleep dart was not in my mind at this point.
Right. Oh,
I'm not gonna lie and say it was.
I appreciate it because she just messes it like Sayonara. I really do think your mechanics are probably better than D3. I mean, I've not like I've coached years of Doomfist since Overwatch 2, but like these shots like look like they look like let's just put it this way, they look at least D2. You know,
yeah.
Your mechanics are really not too shabby at all. The mistake here is really simple. In fact, it's so simple that we've already written it down into things to focus on, right?
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, like what is
Like,
it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't matter. Like there's just no way. Like you'd have to be
Even if I get one here, I
Right.
trade and losing, say, their soldier versus my tank.
right.
Right? Like if
I mean,
I'm on support here, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I
guy
know
doing?
it's like you're trying to help, but it's like, guys, we have to push cart, and like we can't help you up there. It's just so annoying. Like even here,
Kiri actually almost dies here because of my aggression.
Yeah. The funny thing is like you feel like you've disengaged, but actually you're still overextended.
Yeah.
Like you're still overextended. Even now, you're still overextended. Oh my gosh.
My thought process here was I get 2 down, we kill at least one of them.
Yeah. I mean, listen. At this point in time, so much chaos has happened, and yes, we've actually kind of turned the corner a little bit here too. It's just your Bastion cart. Now, this isn't as bad, but this is to be honest. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is you just dunking on them mechanically. That's really all it is. You're just out raw mechanicking them. Their Ana's not good enough. Their Soldier's not good enough. The Hanzo's not hitting a shot. Bap's not hitting a shot. I don't know why Baptiste lamped. You're just RKOing them. That's really all it is. If this team is even slightly better, you're rolled. And that's the thing is like they're going to be better, and you're not gonna be able to get away with this. Okay, here we go. Ha! Good try.
I missed the punch.
Good try. It was a good try. Now he's overextended a little bit. You've actually got your team here. Nice shift force. You missed the punch. Ha! Wait, what? What was this? You got the AoE going on here. That's funny.
Yeah.
You're crazy. Nice. Oh, oh boy. Oh man. This could be really.
It's better. I get slept here.
I mean, this is either gonna be. Yeah.
Actually, I think I do.
Yeah.
It's my target prioritization.
That's it. Yeah, your target prioritization, and again, you're just a little overextended. Still, like Bastion's just chill. Look at his ult charge.
It's fucking.
You have lapped him. You've used an ult and then balled up another round. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to like argue with the results that you're getting, but I think you can look at this objectively and be like, I think I'm just coasting off of just being so much better right now.
I mean, I don't want to like compare you to Jane here, but if Jane were to watch this right now, she'd say like, if you were put into a top 500 lobby right now, you would have died every single time I went for a play. Right? Like I would have died every time I went.
Right. Well, I like the aggression, you know? I mean, I like the aggression. I like the confidence. I think that's like, you have like that killer instinct, and it's way better to have that and to tone it back than the other way around, right? I think it's just, like I said, it just comes back to that one skill, which is just turn around. You know what I'm saying? Just turn around, and then if you think that it doesn't matter, I can get these kills, then I encourage you to go for it. You know what I'm saying? If you're really confident, do it. You know, don't second guess yourself, but just give yourself enough information so that you can make a decision. That's all. Were you thinking about sleep dart there?
Oh. Yeah. If I'm honest, I don't think I thought about it pretty much the entire game.
Yeah. Because she's got it now, but I didn't know if you heard her earlier. But yeah.
The only time I actively think about sleep dart is if I have my ult, I will ult to bait it out of it. So like if I have my ult, right, and I heard the animation, I would have ulted. But I do that. It's not as often as how often she has sleep dart, you know?
And here we go, right? Bang. Look at you. I mean, you should have died. You should have died. You should have died. You should have died. Huge. Oh! ASMR right there, man. Oh my goodness, that is so satisfying. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Delightful. Oh, that's just so much fun. I don't even play Doom, but this looks fun. Nice job. Besides the whole sleep dart thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine, there's no sleep dart to worry about there. Oh, unlucky. Nice.
This, in the moment, the second I did it, I realized I'm dead.
Okay, two things. This is the perfect marriage of everything that is wrong with your play, right? Right? And?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sleep.
Right? Not only do you get slept here, but you also have zero chance to follow up from your team. And it's not even that far. Like, we're talking about like 2 or 3 seconds away from your team being able to follow up on this. But you're just too early and you're just not considering sleep. Like, what you could do is that you could spend time now. Right now. This is your downtime before the fight, where if you can frontline, you should be trying to bait sleep dart. You know what I'm saying? Like peek, shoot, maybe charge up a punch and then duck, maybe use your block in the duck, peek a little here. Try and bait it because your team is coming up soon. We're getting ready to go for a fight. If you can bait it up before the fight starts, that's gonna be the way to go. But you're not even trying. You're trying, I'm gonna go. No.
Generally, my playstyle, I got saved by my carry there. My playstyle would say, yeah, I'm gonna go up top and pressure that back.
Yeah.
But I saw the Doom punching and I wanted to, blocking.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even blocking.
No.
I don't know why I did it.
No, I don't know either. But yeah, like you said, like you could be baiting sleep dart. You could be doing what you said here. It's just like take high ground, clear off the bat because there's no risk of sleep here. You could be doing so much like cleanup work here for preparation for the hard engage that's going to come in like 6 seconds. But no, we're going in. And what do? Nothing. You force Suzu. You miraculously survive sleep dart through it. And now you're not in as deep as you should be. You're peeling a Doomfist because you had to back off when you should have been going in. Because you're too early. And you were too early because you weren't considering sleep dart, and you're too early because you were not considering your team's positioning because you didn't turn around. It always comes back to those two things. You notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's keep going.
So, sorry, this might be kind of a meaty question.
Love them.
A really in-depth question.
Sure.
How do I apply this to different compositions? So say they're running Mercy Kiriko, like we're right? Mm-hmm. Do I wait for GA? Do I just wait for TP? Is the biggest...
Well, let's put it this way.
To me,
when you engage the Kiriko with TP, what's the goal?
Force TP.
Force TP. To do pressure, force TP, and to survive, right? Mm-hmm. You're not all-in because there is no opportunity for an all-in. So what you're doing is you're then forcing the TP, surviving, and then your next engage, you could be a little bit more ballsy, right? Because you know that I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to secure the kill, right? Now GA, it's a little bit harder, but GA might be a similar thing where you dive one target, you bait the Mercy to fly to that target, and then you punish the Mercy that's flown to the target, right? Mm-hmm. And those are just those cooldowns, right? Like the Sigma Rock thing, same kind of thing. When you hard engage in a backline, but you've got your back to the Sigma and you're not playing your cover, you get rocked, you die. Same thing with Javelin, And so for you, it's going to be about just look at the matchup. Like let's consider if you were the enemy Doomfist, what would you be thinking about?
Right now?
Yeah, if you're the enemy Doom. Like, well, not just right now, but the matchup, your composition. Look at your composition. Yeah.
Honest, the Doom that's stiffing me. I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, okay, cancel, like stop his engages. But I'd say jump the Junkrat. He's pretty easy to kill alone. He can be a little difficult, but
yeah.
And then avoid the echo at all costs.
Sure.
Through your HP.
Right. So maybe you can either directly engage the Kiriko, force her to use TP, or you could directly engage the Junkrat. And then force either the Kiriko or Mercy to TP or GA over, and then all of a sudden your target priority changes a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So you could force both TP and Suzu, or GA plus Suzu with just one engage, and then your next engage is lethal, right? Because they don't have the Suzu anymore, right? Or maybe that Junkrat's used both of his conch mines on you, and now is not as good, right? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as simple as, or as I guess as, it's not as simple as Sleep Dart, but it's also a lot less punishing than Sleep Dart, right? But it's still something to track, still something to play around. Like, you're a smart player, you'd be able to figure it out. Like, even if they were on something like a Moira Lucio composition, right? Then there's gonna be a DP, like Reaper Wraith, right? Reaper Wraith, I can hard engage on a Reaper to force Wraith and then survive, and then my next engage, I'm directly trying to punch him into a wall so that I can actually finish off the kill. Or I'll force Suze, or I'll force something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're asking me like, oh my goodness, how do I like play on cooldowns? Like, there's another cooldown, right? Look at this, right? This is a really helpful one to know, right? This guy, you know? There's one more to add to the list. Because in hard engaging on this guy, when you don't have power punch and he's got that, is rough, right? He will melt you.
Trust me, I have noticed.
Right. So there you go. There's another one on the list. Now, that being said, I wouldn't necessarily, at your skill level, try and track both, maybe just one at a time. But this is it, case in point, right? You're literally not even thinking about Sleep Dart. You have to think as if the Ana is better than she actually is, because they will be at some point, right? Even this crappy, stupid Ana has still hit like 3 or 4 Sleep Darts on you that have cost fights. You notice that?
I think there was a quote from Jaden that would really apply here.
Sure.
In a video from like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Respect respect the enemy Widowmaker until she shows you that she does not deserve it.
Right. I think to me it's just because the thing is we have lost fights to this. You're probably going to die here because of this. So even the worst of Honest is still going to be worth at least a little bit of respect. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. You know, you should not have demanded Suzu. At the very least, we can say that. You should not have demanded Suzu, and you should have been killing them instead of taking a nap on the job, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. It's not about like, oh, I need to be more careful. It's like you need to be, when you're sleeping, you're doing nothing. You're not aggressive. That's the problem. Haha. I'm not gonna lie to you, this isn't the smartest thing you've done, but it's also, I can't blame you for doing it. It's so satisfying. Like, it's just
not
so...
only does it feel really good, but I've got 648 HP here. Like,
yeah.
The only way I die is if I get slept again.
Yeah. It's just so satisfying, man. Like, oh my gosh. Like, oh, it's just AoE damage. Look, you're already 65% in your next ult.
Okay.
And that's the map.
I saw this yesterday and I was like, he's gonna get a laugh out of this.
Oh, that's great. That's hilarious. Okay, yeah, look at him. Look at this.
I called him voice chat. I was like, he's gonna engage on you, Mercy. Save your GA.
Yeah, look at you. See, you're helping everybody out. Nice, Bastion. She doesn't have Sleep Dart, but you didn't know that. I did. Ha! Get rolled.
Yeah.
Nice. I know what you're doing. Like, you're engaging because of Riptire, but then again, the same thing applies that we talked about earlier. If you want to engage with Riptire, and you should, how would you engage here? So let's wait. Okay.
Right here.
And oh no, you didn't engage with Riptire. You engaged first. Okay, so let's say that you were being a team player and engaging at the same time as your Riptire. How would you engage here to disrupt and distract for your Riptire?
Engage with punch.
Sure.
Probably, right? Because it stuns them immediately.
Right, and then maybe slam up top, you know?
And I did think that was my first reaction, but I didn't want to say it because it felt better to say stun them with slam or stun them with punch.
Yeah. But no, I agree. I agree.
Directly above where the Ana is would be a good.
Sure. I think what you said, punch and then slam up top, is probably the best way of doing this. Because when you're doing your job, you're creating a huge distraction for Riptire. But even if the Riptire completely flops, they're screwed. You're staged. They don't have sleep. You have your ult. You could drop punch, and then even if they still have your sleep, you could drop punch, then cancel that immediately into your ultimate. Yeah, there's so many things that you can do here. But this is just so boring, you know, so boring and unnecessarily risky. Unfortunate. So you impressed me. I thought initially that mechanics were going to be a problem, but I don't think they're as much of a problem as I thought at the start. I think you've been doing it, especially with your shots. Your shots are really good. Okay, so nothing's changed, really. Everything's the same. The stuff that we put at the halftime, I think definitely was just confirmed. There's nothing really new for me to add. What do you think?
I definitely agree there.
Okay. And the nice thing is that's simple, right? That's what we're looking for. We weren't looking for, crazy complicated thing. The only maybe complicated one was trying to figure out what cooldown to track, and or maybe the playstyle thing where like considering when you should be like taking more angles, right? But in terms of just tracking one cooldown and turning around, I don't think that's too much to ask, And sure enough, that's what you were missing. You weren't missing any like nuanced, deep understanding of the game. You're just trolling the lobby. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Do you have any...
the game before, so we ended up going against the same people twice. Their tank, and he was our monkey before, and I dipped him the same exact time, like the same way.
Right.
And we ended up like we are now friends on Discord, and we've been queuing together with the Alma player.
There you go. There's nothing like punch abuse to make good friendships.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's call it there. Do you have any questions?
So I tend to struggle with. I have the knowledge now, right? You've given me specific things that I need to work on.
Yep.
How do I, in game, how do I prevent myself from not, I don't want to say autopiloting, but kind of, I think forgetting might be a better way to say it, right? Especially when I'm 2 hours into 4 hours. Like 2 out of 4 hours in the middle of my stream, and I'm talking to somebody, like in my chat, how do I apply the knowledge that you've given me?
Yeah. Good question. You're going to need to give me a second. Just a few seconds, actually. Hoping not too long. In the meantime, I'll pull up a video for you, which will hopefully help answer that question. Because it's a very common question. Okay. Got the video here. Hey, do you hear that? Wait a sec. Wait. Do you hear that? Do you hear that alarm? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's my iPod I've got here. That's a trick you can use. Every 5 minutes. I'm not even joking. Set an alarm on your phone. That's like a short-term solution. Is like set an alarm on your phone every 5 minutes. And then just...
One thing I do, because I'm streaming, is I talk a lot, right? Like I'm constantly talking about my thought process.
Yeah.
And I debated showing you a God of a Loss where I ended up playing Ryan, but that's why I didn't show it to you, because I played Ryan. But I was talking through exactly what I was doing.
That's good.
And I made some insane plays because I was constantly aware of what was going on.
That's good. And so you're going to need to find out what works best for you. That video has a lot of different little things that you can do, but it's really there's not like an exact science when it comes with it. Self-narration to kind of keep yourself focused is really, really good as well. I think taking short breaks to keep yourself focused, the sticky notes on your monitor, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, setting little timers, taking quick breaks between cues to like just move around, do some push-ups, take a walk, touch some grass, get some water, get some sun, throw some iron
violin a lot.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Whenever I get tilted, I don't get tilted very often, but when I do, I just go play my violin.
Sure, because you're talking about playing for up to like 4 hours. That's a long time to keep focus. You know what I'm saying? So don't beat yourself up if you're struggling with it, especially if you're struggling for that long of a period of time. So what I would do is understand the first few hours are going to be really where the juice is at, and make sure that you're taking a couple of short breaks. And then if at like the 2 or 3 hour mark, you feel like I'm just autopiloting a little bit, just play for fun, just play for fun. Playing for different things.
I got 2 accounts at the same time.
Right. But what we do want to do is we need to find out whether it's the phone, time, or sleep, getting up, stretching, reminding yourself, whatever. The first couple of hours have to be intense. Choose one of the things that we put in our notes up there and pick one of those and work at it. But the first couple hours, you really need to stay focused. And then the rest, not as impactful.
And would you recommend implementing both? Because I know you don't like...
No, I don't.
Like a month apart, right? Mm-hmm. Should I implement only one of these at a time, or immediately?
One of these at a time. One of these at a time. Yeah, especially because the cooldown one is probably really, really like mentally engaging. So you need to like cut yourself some slack and not try and do both. Because if you try and do both, I imagine you'll probably do a bad job of tracking cooldowns. So what I would do though,
it's always honest. Always gets me there. I'm fine with Zarya bubbles, things like that, but the second you give me an Ana, I can never tell you when to go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. Then that needs to change. So I would do one at a time. I'd probably put more time onto the second one and less time in the first, because the first one should theoretically be a little bit easier. So maybe a couple of days, and then when you're like, I'm so tired of like turning around, I've built the habit, then move on to number 2, and go from there. But it's just the same thing as like building the habit as like a low rank player of pressing tab. That's kind of what we need for number 1, just to build that like automatic autopilot thing. And then the second one is going to be like, I would go as far to say like a long-term nuanced challenge that's going to take a long time to like really master.
And when would you consider it? So you're saying like do these things separately?
Yep.
Does that also include the playstyle changes? So like
good question. Good question. The playstyle I would put in as 3rd and 4th things to practice.
Okay, so these are just completely separate.
You've got a host of things. You've got a host of things to worry about. In terms of priority, I think the reason why I put 1, 2 is because those are priority to me. And then I would say the testing frontline versus lurking flank assassination playstyle, that one is very important as well. Like you said, the Orisa game. Like you might troll an entire game if you're not aware of that. But the slam frontline, not as much. Make sense?
Yeah, that's just kind of like a minor consideration. Of nuanced parts of doing this specifically.
Yeah, so you got your work cut out for you for a little while. This is a lot to work on for at least several weeks, as close to a month. And then what I would recommend doing whenever, week, month from now, shoot me any questions you have, of course, but use the replay code rule. Shoot me a replay code. Give me like 3 or 4 timestamps, and I'll give you some more feedback based off of that. So it could be like follow up off of that. Maybe there's like a matchup where you're really struggling, a map where you're really struggling. Send me the replay code, send me those couple of timestamps, and I'll give you some written feedback in a couple of days. Sound good?
And then when would our next coaching session be? I know you don't like doing. You prefer to do like you don't like a couple weeks. You prefer like a month.
Right? 4 weeks. I would say 4 weeks.
At least 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But say I send you a replay code in like 3 weeks, right? And I'm like, hey, I'm really struggling on this map or like with this specific type of engage.
Yep.
Would you rather I just wait and take that?
No.
Right.
So the replay code rule you can do. I mean, even as soon as tomorrow. Like you could be like, hey, I tried to apply what we're talking about, but this one was weird. What do you think about this? You know what I'm saying? The reason why I hesitate doing an entire new coaching session in 4 weeks is because it'll be like reevaluating how we're doing training wise, like starting from scratch almost. You know what I'm saying? So for follow-up, it could be whenever. Tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4, whatever. But for an entirely new session, I would recommend 4 weeks, if that makes any sense.
Okay. I appreciate your time. I really do.
Yeah, no worries,
I really
man.
have to pee. And I appreciate